You know that feeling, right? You're locked in the studio, the mix is sounding huge on your main monitors, but then that little voice creeps in. What's this gonna sound like in the real world? That moment of truth can be pretty nerve-wracking.
Well, it's a universal experience for anyone who mixes music. You spend hours crafting this sonic landscape in your controlled environment, tailored to your specific monitors.
And it's so easy to lose sight of how that translates.
To all the vastly different places people actually listen.
Exactly. And that's the deep dive we're taking today. Why do these meticulously crafted mixes sometimes just completely fall apart when you hear them elsewhere?
The low end vanishes.
Or the vocals get buried.
Yeah.
It's a problem engineers have grappled with for decades.
It is. And while room acoustics and different speaker types play a role, there's a surprisingly elegant solution. A specific type of speaker that legendary engineers have relied on.
Little secret weapon.
It gives you this crucial perspective.
And these unassuming heroes we're talking about are the Auratone 5C and its modern counterpart, the Avantone Mixcube. These little single driver speakers may not look like much.
Nope. Very basic looking.
But they pack a serious punch when it comes to making sure your mixes translate.
Absolutely. And for you, our listener, this deep dive is going to reveal the core principle behind why they work so well.
We're going to explore why these seemingly basic speakers have been and honestly still are invaluable tools.
For getting mixes that sound consistently good, think of it as a shortcut to sonic truth.
Our mission today is to understand why these mono full-range speakers are so essential in professional mixing.
Our sources today reflect the enduring wisdom of this approach, even now.
Even with all the tech we have.
Because even with digital advancements and super sophisticated monitoring, some fundamental things about audio perception, about mix balance, they stay constant.
Right.
The fact that these speakers are still relevant speaks volumes about those core principles.
Right. So let's circle back to that initial feeling, that uncertainty, the will it translate? You've been mixing for hours, and like one source puts it, after a while, your ears get tired and details start to blur. It's so true, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You lose that crucial objectivity. Listening fatigue is a real hurdle. Your auditory system, your brain, they adapt to what you're hearing constantly. And that adaptation, it can mask subtle imbalances, frequency issues, things that would jump right out on fresh ears. Or a different system.
And that's where my trusty Avantone Mixcube comes in. It's just in mono.
The Mixcube user.
Been using one for maybe 10 years now. Honestly, it's like a secret weapon. When I switch to it, everything feels clearer. Issues in the mids, vocal balance, low ends stand out. And I totally vouch for that. It's like suddenly the important stuff is under a spotlight.
And what's fascinating is why that shift provides such clarity, right?
What's the magic?
Well, by stripping away the wide stereo image and the extended highs and lows your main monitors have.
The flattering stuff.
Exactly. You're basically forced to focus on the core of your mix. The balance, the clarity, in the crucial mid-range. That's where most of the music lives anyway.
And the fundamental principle here, which our source really hammers home, it's not about making a mix sound good. It's about making it work everywhere.
That's the key distinction.
But the real goal is for it to sound balanced and clear on a phone speaker, a laptop, a club system.
Your primary monitors, they're invaluable for detail, full frequency spectrum, stereo field, sculpting.
All that good stuff.
But the Mixcube, or speakers like it, serve a different but just as important function. They reveal how your mix holds up on systems that lack all those sonic refinements, the lowest common denominator almost.
And the why behind its effectiveness, it really boils down to the design philosophy. Simple.
It's a single driver, full range speaker with no hyped lows or extended highs.
Just mid-range.
Mid-range, the part of the mix that actually translates across all systems.
A single full range driver.
Yeah.
That's the key piece.
It avoids the complexities, the potential phase issues you get with multi-way speakers with crossovers.
Right.
Focusing all the energy on the mid-range where you find the fundamentals of most instruments and vocal intelligibility.
The clarity of the voice.
You're ensuring that the most important sonic information is balanced and clear. That foundation translates much more reliably, even on tiny speakers.
And that simplicity, it leads to what our source calls brutal honesty.
There's just nowhere for bad mix decisions to hide.
Because there's nothing flattering about it, you're forced to make better decisions.
Exactly.
If the vocal's too loud, you hear it. If the bass is masking everything, you hear it. If your snare isn't cutting through, you hear it.
It's stark, unfiltered, but ultimately incredibly helpful.
Because that lack of sonic polish is its power.
Your main monitors might have this gorgeous low end that makes a weak bass sound huge.
Guilty?
Or a shimmery high end that adds fake air. But on systems without that, the illusion vanishes.
And the flaws are laid bare.
The Mixcube just strips away that sonic varnish, forces you to fix the fundamental balance.
No hyped lows masking muddy bass, no sparkly highs distracting from a dull vocal.
Just the raw truth about your mid-range balance.
That brutal honesty description captures it.
It does. And this whole idea, using a brutally honest mid-range focused speaker for translation checks, it's not new.
This goes way back.
Its roots are in the Auratone 5C, the tiny but brutally honest speaker that engineers swore by in the 70s and 80s.
The Auratone 5C. Those little beige cubes, they were everywhere in pro studios back then.
Absolutely ubiquitous.
Perched right on top of these huge mixing consoles. It's almost funny to picture now with all the monitors we have.
Their popularity tells you something, right? How effective they were. As the source notes, Quincy Jones, Bob Claremountain, Bruce Swedian,
Legends.
These guys mixed using Auratones to make sure their tracks worked outside the studio. These are the engineers behind timeless recordings.
And the albums mixed or checked on Auratone. It's just incredible. Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yep.
Fleetwood Mac's Rumors.
It makes you appreciate the wisdom in that simple approach.
So the core concept, it was straightforward.
Remarkably straightforward, yet super effective. If a mix sounded good on an Auratone, it would sound good anywhere.
From car radios to TVs.
They weren't built to impress you with frequency range or stereo detail. They were built to reveal the fundamental balance, the mid-range clarity, to ensure the core of the mix would translate universally.
Not trying to seduce you, just giving you the hard facts about your mix's core.
And while the original Auratone 5C went out of production for a while,
They disappeared for a bit.
the need for that reliable translation check, that never went away. The problem of mixes sounding different elsewhere, still a huge concern.
And thankfully, Avantone brought it back. It's a real testament to the original idea, isn't it?
Modern version is still such a vital tool.
And the way it fits into a modern workflow is quite telling.
The source describes a common approach. I start on my full-range monitors, get the mix feeling right,
Get the vibes, bass.
flip to the Mixcube in mono. That's where the real work happens.
That mirrors my workflow exactly. Spend time on the mains, get the big picture, the stereo image, but then switching to that mono Mixcube lets you really scrutinize the center, the lead vocal, snare, kick,
Yeah.
how those elements sit together.
And the feeling when you go back to your main monitors after tweaking on the Mixcube, it's often quite revealing.
Oh.
Our source describes it like, once I've made adjustments there, going back to full-range speakers feels like taking the weights off.
That's a great analogy.
The mix just opens up. Suddenly the stereo image feels wider, the full
Yeah.
frequencies are there,
But with a better balance.
with a newfound sense of balance and clarity that actually translates better.
Now, here's where things get particularly interesting, I think. Our source touches on a newer development, virtual Auratone emulations, specifically mentioning a positive experience with Slate's VSX system.
The headphone virtualization.
I admit, I was initially skeptical of virtual speaker, really. But the feedback has been compelling.
It's definitely an intriguing evolution. The idea of digitally modeling the specific sound of an Auratone inside headphones, it offers some real advantages. Convenience, mostly. But the virtual version felt exactly like my Mixcube in my room. Same focus, same punch,
Wow.
same ability to make the mix fall apart in all the right ways. That suggests the emulation is pretty darn accurate.
The practical benefits are hard to ignore, right? The source highlights. No patching, no physical switching, increased convenience. It just works.
Exactly. In a busy mix session, constantly making critical listening choices, those small workflow efficiencies add up.
No extra cables, no reaching for a monitor controller button.
The ability to instantly toggle between your main virtual monitors and a virtual Auratone, it's seamless. It removes friction that might stop you from regularly checking on that translation speaker.
Okay, so bringing this all together, the key takeaway here really is the enduring value of having a mono full-range speaker
Whether it's vintage Auratone, modern Mixcube,
or a good virtual emulation.
it's a crucial part of the mixing toolkit.
As our source concludes, whether it's a real Auratone 5C, an Avantone Mixcube, or a virtual emulation, a mono full-range speaker like this is an essential tool.
Yeah, it forces you to make better mixing decisions, exposes weaknesses, and helps you create tracks that sound great everywhere.
And for you, our listener, if you're not already doing this, using some kind of mono mid-range check,
Physical or virtual.
our source offers direct advice. It's one of the simplest ways to make your mixes translate better.
It's a surprisingly straightforward technique, but the impact can be profound on how your music actually hits the listener, whatever they're listening on.
Ultimately, it boils down to making sure that sonic vision you worked hard on in the studio reaches every listener with the clarity and balance you intended.
And this seemingly simple tool offers a powerful way to achieve that crucial goal.
So think about it. How often have you been genuinely surprised, maybe even a little disappointed, by how your meticulously crafted mix sounds when you hear it somewhere else, on a different system?
I've all been there.
Perhaps this unassuming tool, this brutally honest messenger of sonic truth, holds a key to bridging that gap, ensuring your creative output resonates with everyone exactly as you intended. Definitely something worth considering for your own workflow.